Holy moly, friends, it has been a long time since I filmed a YouTube video. I'm having to remind myself to look at the camera, not at the screen. That's important. Also, my daughter changed my camera settings, so hopefully this is fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Yes, as you know from the title, I am pregnant. There is a child within me. And I'm going to tell you the full story, and also the fact that I had COVID while I was pregnant and just all that. And just I'm going to tell you everything, all of that. And then at the very end, I'm going to tell you just what my YouTube channel is going to be going forward, why I stopped, things like that I haven't really shared. I've shared a little bit of why I stopped, but not like the full picture. And I was trying to understand also as well. But heater kicked on. All right. But we'll see how much of this video I can get through before nap time is over. So I've had a few people ask me this, obviously, because if you've been with my channel and me for a while, you know that for Eva, I had a huge, like, wonderful reveal with Connor. I had a review with my mom and my mother-in-law, and I had just, like, you know, fireworks. It was just fireworks. And then we get to second child syndrome, or whatever it's called, like just the second child-esque, and literally I didn't record anything. Like, I was just in denial about it. And let me just back up. Okay, so first of all, if you don't follow me on YouTube, or if you don't follow me on Instagram, I've shared that the idea of having a second child has really terrified me, because I love Eva and I love everything that she is, and I love our bond, and like, I just love her with my entire heart, my entire being. More than anything in the entire world, I love her. And the thought of having a second child has scared me, because I don't want to, one, ruin that. There's the fears of splitting my time, primarily because I breastfeed and I rock her to sleep, and I've had that tension of like needing to wean her, needing to find different ways to put her to sleep, and we've been transitioning to patting her back. And so just all of that has been really hard for me, because I knew it needed to stop at some point, obviously, but having to like abruptly do it has been really hard. And so just the thought of that, going into not even knowing I'm pregnant yet, I was scared of getting pregnant. I just wanted it to be me and her forever, but I also knew I wanted children. And so Connor and I were like not trying to have a baby, but also I knew I was ready, and I knew Eva had just turned 2, or was going to turn 2, and so I wanted to like start preparing a family. So we weren't like using protection or anything like that. And so I'm still terrified. I'm still like having all of these emotions, and just, you know, all the emotions that I said, but I'll get into that. So starting story time of how I found out I was pregnant, because there's no special video. So Connor knows my cycle better than I do, which is bizarre. But like a few days after I got pregnant, or I missed my period, he was like, "Aren't you supposed to start your period already?" And I'm like, stop being weird. How do you know that? And he just, I don't know how he knows, but he was saying that he knew. And so I was like, yes, I'm sure that I should have, but it's like a few days, so it should be fine, whatever. And then we went to Texas, and I was able to like take my mind off of it. Still hadn't. He brought it up again, and I was like, at this point, I was, again, like I said, terrified of I could be, and I was in this tension of I want a child, but I also don't want a child. I don't want to lose that whatever I have with Eva. So I was in denial, and that's the reason why like nothing was planned, nothing was like filmed, nothing was special, because a part of me just like didn't want it to be true. And so basically, like, I just kept waiting. I just kept hoping that I wasn't, even though, again, like, there's just like such a tension, because I want to have more children, but I don't know. Anyways, so so one day I wake up and I go to the kitchen where my mom is, and I'm like having a conversation, and I feel lightheaded, and immediately I'm like, in my head, my subconscious, I'm like, oh no, I'm lightheaded, because that's exactly what happened whenever I was pregnant with Eva. I got lightheaded. I had to sit, because I was so dizzy, I had to sit on the floor for just like a few minutes. And then within like 5 minutes, I ran to the bathroom, vomited. So I was like, oh no, like nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. And so I like went to the fridge and I got a strawberry because, again, in my subconscious, I knew that strawberries always helped me in my first pregnancy not be nauseous. And more so in like the second trimester. But anyway, so I got a strawberry and I started eating it. And I was like, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine, I'm gonna be fine. I'm just dizzy, whatever. And then I told my mom, I feel like weird, so I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Or my stomach feels weird, so I'm gonna go use the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and I like sat on the toilet and I was just like, I just felt so weird. Like I felt like my stomach was hurting and like I felt nauseous, but I didn't want to vomit because I was like, if I vomit, I know that I'm pregnant. I know it. And you know, of course, me being dumb, like I'm having these intimate moments with my husband. What did I think was gonna happen, you know? And so anyways, just whatever. But so I'm like on the toilet, nauseous, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm fine. Like I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes and I'm like calming myself down, and then I get up and I turn around and I immediately vomit up the strawberry. And in that moment, I knew that I was pregnant because I never, ever, ever vomit, ever. The only like times I've ever vomited in my adult life are when I was pregnant with Eva and now that I'm pregnant with this child, or like at the beginning, because I'm just dealing with nausea at this point. So I knew I was, and at that moment I thought to myself, I could either make this a surprise and like hide it and like come out and pretend everything's fine and then plan something, or I can come out as I am, shaking and like scared and overwhelmed and also like confused and just all these emotions, and just tell everyone in the living room that I'm pregnant. And so that's what I did, because I couldn't hide it. Like I was just so, not traumatized, but I was so like taken back at what just happened that I was like, I can't hide this. Like it was literally gonna be Christmas that like week. We were there for Christmas. And so I just like couldn't hide it. So I like come out of the bathroom, I like walk down the hallway, I'm shaking, I'm in the hallway door, and my mom's across the room with her husband, and Connor's sitting on the couch. He doesn't even know that I'm pregnant yet. And I'm just like shaking. I'm like, I think I'm pregnant. I think I'm pregnant. And my mom's like, what? Like she's just like in shock, I think. Like she's excited, but she's like shocked. And then she like comes over to me and like hugs me, and she's like, are you okay? Like, you know, making sure that I'm okay. And then she's like, does Connor know? Did Connor already know? And he hadn't known. Like that was the first time he heard that I'm pregnant. And it was just like, I think everybody was just like in shock, because it was just so random. And so then that morning, so that was in the morning, and that same morning Connor had to leave to go with his dad. So that whole day I like didn't see Connor. And then that afternoon I was like, I need to go get a pregnancy test. I should, like, me and my sisters get in the golf cart, drive down to Walgreens and go get a pregnancy test. So we did. We come back, and then I like called, I FaceTimed Connor and his family that evening. I took the test, and I think I have a video of that, so I'll share that. And it turns out that I was pregnant. And when I saw the fact that I was positive, so many emotions flooded in me. Like, I think the first one was like grief almost. It was like grieving. Oh God, I'm like getting emotional. It was like grieving the no moreness of like 3 people. And then it was also like shocked and surprised out, like this is actually happening. And then I think there was like a little bit of excitement in there, because I wasn't like, I was like excited, but I think all the other emotions just clouded the fact that I like was excited. And I was crying so much that Eva started crying, and she was afraid. And then I was like rubbing her back, and it was like, it was pretty like traumatic, I feel like, for her maybe. But yeah, I like found out, and I think everyone was so excited for me, and I was excited too. Again, I'll say like I was excited, but I think all the other emotions were more so flooding me, and so I was like crying so much. And so yeah, so it was just crazy how I found out. And like I said, it wasn't filmed or anything because this wasn't something that I don't know, it's hard to explain without sounding so negative. If like people understand my emotions, like I wanted to have a child. I knew I wanted to, like deep down in my heart. And me and my friend talked about this, how there's like this deep desire that God gives us to like be fruitful and multiply and understand the love that he has for his children, which are like, you know, billions of people. And so he gave that desire to us to love independently each child that we have with such a passion. But I think like the enemy puts fear into mothers, especially those who are raising like warrior children, to like live in fear of, what if I don't love this child enough, or what if I don't these, or what if I don't, you know, all the anxiety and the fears that the enemy gives us. He's truly like placed those in me. I can feel that spiritual tension within me of like God speaking this overwhelming amount of love for this new child, but the enemy coming in and saying, but what if, what if, and almost like breaking that like bond that I have with Eva and the love that I have for her, and saying, you're not going to love her as much, or you're not going to, you know, blah blah blah. Or on the flip side, you're not going to love this child as much as Eva, or you're not going to, you know, whatever, all those things. So there's that like that hard tension that I've been dealing with, because I know with all of my heart, like my spiritual heart, that I will love this baby, and that it will be so beautiful to see Eva and this baby become siblings and have this beautiful relationship. But then of course, like I said, the enemy comes in and he fills my head with all of these lies and this tension. And so that's kind of like the best way I can explain it, of like, I think I've allowed him to speak those over me more than hearing what God has to say for me, because I don't know if I'm fully trusting God in the process of this baby was made for such a time as this. And God actually gave me the name, I'll share a little bit of this, the name of our baby, if it's a certain gender, which I think it is, but I could be wrong. He gave me this name 2 years ago for this baby, and the meaning of this name is actually, it means a blessing. And it's crazy because I'm like, really, God, a blessing? But it's like, I get to speak that over this baby regardless of what I feel, that this baby is a blessing, and the enemy doesn't get to take that from me. And so I'm trying to like wrap my head around that more and more, to believe that instead of living in fear of what could happen. So that's a little bit of the story. I don't know if I shared it well enough, but I need to check with my daughter real quick. Okay, so now to talk about the fact that I got COVID while I was pregnant. So crazy again. So 2 days actually after I found out that I was pregnant, I got COVID, and we were over at Connor's parents' house, and we were watching a movie, I think, and my thighs started getting super sore. And I thought that was super weird, because I was like, I haven't worked out in quite a long time. So I was like, I don't think my thighs are sore from like walking a lot or anything like that. So I was like rubbing them. And then the next day, from the morning to the night, like morning I was fine, and as the day went on, I like gradually got worse, to the point that I could barely move my head on the couch. Like I was laying there and I had to like lift my body up and eat soup, and I couldn't really eat anything. I had chills, sweats, headache, what else? Chills, sweats, headache, like sinus pressure, coughing, muscle aches. And that was from like maybe the afternoon until like 8-9 o'clock at night. And then Connor started like massaging my body, and I feel like maybe that helped with the muscle tension and the muscle aches. But then we went to bed. That next morning I felt completely fine. It was bizarre. And I ended up giving it to Eva, and then she was like playing with everyone, and then she ended up giving it to like so many other people. And I think it was the Omicron because it spread like rapid fire. So yeah, that was crazy, and I'm super thankful that I got the Omicron while pregnant because I think it helped maybe like create antibodies for my baby or something. I have not been whatever. You do you, whatever you choose to do, but I chose not to, so I'm glad that I was able to get the Omicron. And then Eva was able to get the Omicron, and she fought it off really well. Both of us, more so her, we have both had lingering cough. I think mine's gone now. Hers is like maybe once or twice a night. She's had a lingering cough since then, so it's been like 3, maybe 4 weeks since then. So that's crazy. But yes, I did have it, and I made it through, and my baby, hopefully within the womb, has some protection over it. We're gonna be checking and making sure, because from what the doctors told me, they've seen when you are pregnant and you get it that there's like some developmental issues, but I'm praying that that is not true in the name of Jesus. So or if it is true, then that's exactly where the baby needs to be. So anyways, yeah, I did have COVID, and then I had my first ultrasound last week, and I think I have a little bit of a video of that. Yeah. Baby's heartbeat. So let's measure that. That's not the right one. This one. And I'm gonna start videoing from here on out because I like missed videoing. But yeah, so I did video, and we heard the baby's heartbeat, and I'm gonna be honest, like that first, like hearing the heartbeat for the first time and seeing that baby like blew my mind, and I was just so in love with that baby. And again, I'll say that the enemy still steps in and tells me all these fears. I have breakdowns of like what if, anxiety. But knowing that when I saw that baby and I heard that heartbeat, I was so in love. I know that that was just a picture of like what God has for this baby, what God has for me, what God has for us. And so like after all of that, like denial, I am like finally in a better place, or getting there at least, of just being joyful in this season. So yeah, I don't think I missed it. Of course, my camera died right whenever I was about to finish what's new. That's the typical Brittany Krebs channel. So anyways, I don't think I missed anything. Hopefully not. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments. But yes, I am having baby number 2, and also just to wrap up and say like what my content is going to be. So one of the main reasons that I stopped filming videos, specifically vlogs, is because one, vlogs, I didn't start this channel to share my life. Like I kind of did, but like to, you know, daily life. I shared it to bring hope, to bring Jesus, and to bring like advice to people who needed it. I started with military advice, and that just brought a lot of people hope and encouragement. And so vlogs really burnt me out because I was trying to do them so much. And then on top of that, I didn't want to share Eva because there's a lot of creepos out there, and I didn't want her to be a part of the internet if she didn't need to be. And that wasn't her choice. You know, I didn't want to be the typical mommy vlogger who forced their kids into making videos with them for views and content and things like that. So I didn't just want her to be a part of it. And then I wasn't sure what to make videos about. And so overall, I just got burnt out and didn't know where my niche was, where my heart was, all of that stuff. So moving forward, I would love to do more advice videos, and also do like motherhood videos where I show like Montessori things, because I talk a lot about like Montessori on my Instagram. I talk a lot about gentle parenting. I talk a lot about like our health, how she doesn't watch TV, like she eats like non-typical snacks, like things like that, and how I go about my day, etc., etc. So I want to do a lot of videos specifically about motherhood and less things that involve her. And then also moving into when we have this baby, I don't want to include this baby. There'll be like some videos, you know, I'll show the baby and stuff like that, but overall that's what I want to do. And if I do vlogs, they'll be more centered around me and what I'm doing in the day versus what we're all doing and like showing Eva and things like that. But again, I would love to do advice videos. So if you know, if you like have any video ideas, they're all welcome in the comments, because I miss you guys so much and I love YouTube so much, and I love sharing my heart on here because I tend to talk a lot, and on Instagram that's just impossible, and then I feel like I can't share my heart because I don't want a million stories. So again, baby number 2 is coming, more videos are coming in 2022. So this year is going to be amazing regardless of what the enemy says. It's going to be amazing and beautiful and fruitful, and I'm hoping that for me, hoping that for you, and I love you guys so much. Bye.